Welcome to Tales from the Bottom of the Ocean. I am Austin.
Andrews, yeah.
Oh,
Your last name, buddy.
oh Jesus! I am Austin, last name man, and this is Mike Kempf.
Yeah.
And this is your new favorite philosophy podcast, right, Mike?
Yeah.
It's a pretty good show,
I don't
right?
call it new. It's been around for a bit.
So we're still pretty like, meta.
It's been around for like 10 years by now, I'd say.
In the internet time, I guess.
It's another Mike episode.
Yep. It's a Nike. It's another Nike.
Nike.
It's another Nike. Just do it. No, it's another episode produced by Mike.
Yep. That's
how you know it's gonna be great. But first, as always, you have to thank the people who make this show possible, and got one of their very greatest products, the Biodynamic DT240 Pros headphones, for listening to music the way it was intended to be heard.
For how much?
$79, actually, new price.
Oh, cool.
It's pretty fantastic.
Affordable. Good
Yeah,
stuff.
very, very affordable, very economic.
I do need new headphones because I just snapped mine in half by accident today.
That's something a really deliberate action. I don't know how you can do that by accident.
By stepping on it.
Oh. All right, Mike. What's this show that you produced all by yourself about?
It's about Buddhism, the thing that we keep bringing up but don't talk about. We gave Confucianism the same treatment, so it's Buddhism's turn.
Theism.
What do you know about Buddhism?
I know somewhat about the Buddha, and that it originated in I almost said Egypt. And that originated in India.
Oh yeah, where in India?
I don't know.
You know what? I shouldn't even be talking because it's where it is now is Nepal, but I can't pronounce it. Lumbini is what Nepal used to be. That's where he was born.
Cool.
So yeah, he was born in India to a royal family, and like seems to be a theme of people kind of defecting from where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Doing something else.
Yeah.
Buddha does the same thing. By the age of 29, he lived like a fully pampered life and all this stuff, because I think his mother had a prophecy where if he stayed home, he'd be a great leader, and if he left, he'd be a great spiritual leader. And the dad was like, well, you should probably stay home because money,
Yeah.
Perhaps you shouldn't go into the mountains and be a bum like Lao Tzu.
Yeah. It's like looking at Lao Tzu like, I don't like that guy.
I do not think Lao Tzu was born yet either.
Oh, it's even older than the rest of them?
Yes, it's 2,500 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. He was born Siddhartha Gautama, and he became the Buddha when he was enlightened at the age of 35.
Right.
After he left at 29, like when you live a pampered life, you don't think of anything really like as wrong.
Yeah.
Like he was so sheltered, he never saw the three things that made him the way he became to be. He saw like an old man aware that he was going to become old, and that's suffering. He saw a sick man being sick, suffering, and a corpse, like you're going to die.
Yeah, and
So-
himself just like being himself, I guess.
Yeah, the person he was like, oh, that's all going to be me. So what he did was he
It's something.
Yeah, he reached nirvana or enlightenment by meditation and basically making Buddhism with all of its tenets, which I will get into soon.
All right.
But yeah, he basically, like, when he was disturbed by all the things he saw, so he became a monk. And the thing that he ended up doing that really messed with him is he kind of did two extremes. He did an extreme where like he made everything suffering, and he realized that that's not the way either. So he developed a thing called the middle way, which is a life without luxury but also without poverty.
What do you mean? Oh,
Like
so
you don't want to be too luxurious and be so like comfortable that you're not aware of things going wrong, but you also don't want to purposely make yourself like unable to live comfortably.
I feel as if nowadays, especially like in the higher intellectual sphere, like people don't realize how much they don't suffer, so they think they're just like everybody else.
Yeah.
And then like it's why I really don't like social like deconstructionism, because it's just like, because it usually comes from the people who have not lived like a really seriously insanely hard life,
Or people who are really young and don't even like Like you could like a 16-year-old starts talking to you, be like, man, we live in like a state where like things aren't fair. It's like you're 16 years old. I shouldn't even be talking. I'm 21 years old. I don't know anything either.
No, wait, listen. We clearly have something because we got this. We got this show, so we're doing something right. We're doing something right. Come on, think about it.
Well, yeah, I hope. Anyway,
Dude, listen. Imagine like the idea of someone's life being made better just because we're sitting here and doing this.
I'd like to imagine such a person, exists.
Yeah.
I hope they do.
Yeah.
If it's not them, it'll be me.
If you're out there,
Just binge watch my own episodes.
if you're out there, we love you.
Yeah,
Stay safe.
Yeah, don't live without. Don't be too luxurious, but also don't purposely make yourself suffer.
Yeah.
Because that's a bad stereotype Buddhism has. It's like life is suffering. Like, yes, I'll get into that, but it's not like people misinterpret it as like you have to suffer. That's not what it teaches.
You have to.
Well, it does. Yeah, you're going to, but it doesn't mean like you have to. It's not. Let's just go on. Anyway, so the basic concepts of Buddhism are the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path.
I've heard of that.
You did because you took high school friggin' history. Because this is basically, they teach you. They make sure they tell you about
Dude,
Buddhism.
imagine a feature where we're being like shown to like kids in high school.
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Like the magic school bus of
Yeah.
2080.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like a bunch of guys talking about how they're underwater behind a brick wall or in front of a wall.
Well, I thought the brick wall had a special name because it's not like brick.
Oh yeah, it's sea brick.
Yeah, sea brick.
Sponge.
Oh yeah, whatever.
Sponge brick.
Whatever. But yeah, it is like the third biggest religion around, so
Yeah.
the history books are gonna talk about it. Right, third?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just had like a huge missed opportunity.
Why?
Like, you know how it's cold outside?
Oh yeah, it is man brick outside.
Yeah. I could have just said it's brick outside.
It's what's behind me outside today.
Go
All right,
on.
so yeah, as I was saying about suffering, the first noble truth is that life is suffering,
Yep.
which includes what he saw. Like he saw people get sick, get old, be in pain, die, all that stuff.
Before his very eyes, yeah. Go on.
Yep. And there's other things that make us suffer, like that we like fear, paranoia, loneliness, and like it basically is there to tell you that it's not going away.
Wait,
Like,
so this is one of the first noble truths.
that is the first noble truth.
Okay, so the life is suffering.
Yeah, life is suffering, and you can't. It can be avoided, but not always. Basically.
Now, like I
It'll
hear,
always be a force.
yeah, like I hear like some like I guess some social scientists saying that that's like actually absolutely true. Like it's not even up like a matter of debate. Like that's just a true statement.
Well, yeah. Inevitably, something bad's gonna happen to you.
So would you say that Confucius got it wrong then? Like that humans are like Well, I don't think he actually said that like mankind isn't suffering, but he was saying like how mankind is like inherently good.
Well,
Which
just because
has-
you suffer doesn't mean you're good.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not good. Depends on what you're really going for. Like maybe that like for people to impose suffering on others, but that could kind of be like you could get. It's kind of gray.
Yeah. Go on.
Like Taoism. What is the second noble truth is suffering's caused by craving and greediness, basically. Like avarice.
Like the desire for more than what you have.
Yeah, we suffer we suffer when people we suffer when we expect people to do things the way we want it, or like we get disappointed that we didn't get something. It's basically like craving and like material needs. And it doesn't even have to be material, just needs in general. Like make us suffer. Which is why the big thing about it is like letting go of your like earthly possessions
Yeah.
to truly achieve nirvana. Which makes sense because like I don't do a lot of things I want to do because I'm afraid I'll lose my cool stuff or like things that I like connections I have.
Yeah. I mean that's just how it is. Like I don't really even have a comment on it.
Yeah, it really is just how it is so far.
It's like a really powerful observation.
But I think this one could be kind of the next one could be forgotten in most people's lives.
Yeah.
And that is that it could be overcome, the suffering that is could be overcome and like happiness can be attained and that it's all possible. Like being truly happy is possible. we have to give up our cravings and learn to live each day at a time. So like you don't think about like what you should have done in the past or what's laying for ahead in the future. You just live in the now, which is something nobody does almost.
No,
I don't do that. I don't think I live in the past too badly anymore, but I'm like recently because like I'm not in school. So like it's a terrifying feeling when you're doing like kind of like
nothing, I guess.
well what other people would think is nothing. Like oh god, like it's just like a looming feeling like you're gonna turn 30.
You gotta let it go, dude. You gotta be one with the Tao.
I know.
In this case, the path, the truth, the noble truth.
Yeah,
All right, what's the third one?
that was the third one.
Oh.
That it can be achieved, and that basically is what a nirvana is.
Oh, they say that like you can actually like there's certain not psychotics, what are they called, psychonarcotic or something like that, like like mushrooms basically, like you can like
Psychedelics.
yeah, exactly, like there's some heavy psychedelics that can put you in that sort of state.
Yeah.
Like no joke, like not like unironically, like they can put you in like a sort of nirvana state.
Ironically.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've heard the same thing. The only thing is I don't like breaking the law. If it was legal, I'd be doing it every day, trust me. Speaking of psychedelics, we didn't even talk about Nirvana, the band, yet, which I think we should keep that way.
Why'd you even bring it up?
Because it was just like on my mind. Like, oh yeah, Kurt Cobain. Like it's funny because I guess like these messages didn't quite get to Kurt because he blew his brains out.
Well, I mean, he did.
Sorry for the vulgarity, but he did it.
Not
indeed.
even a single curse word, but anyway,
In a,
if
in a
he-
depressive state. I guess you really can't help it when you're that depressed.
no, but like it wasn't even that, but he was like literally in constant pain.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, like it was interesting because I actually was listening to an interview, but like his spine was like warping in such a way that he had to hold his guitar, like in order to like prop himself up a particular way when he played.
So that makes sense then. Like I guess that would be a flaw in Buddhism because not everyone could just be happy. Like some things can be fixed, and if that's the way they want to do it, that's just how it is.
Well, then, but you can rectify that in a scummy way by just saying how you didn't try enough.
Yeah, like anyone could really. It does cast opinions on it, but like what my opinion is, if that's what got him, if that's what made him finally feel like off from his problems, fine, because it's just, you can't go back on it.
Yeah.
If that's what he wanted, that's what I'll respect. Even though I just used the most vulgar term to describe it. All right, so that was our comment about Kurt Cobain.
Yep. God bless.
R.I.P.
I guess.
What is the fourth noble truth?
F.
What is it?
The fourth?
Yeah, what is it?
You mean the one you just said?
Nah, the fourth truth is that the Noble Eightfold Path is the path that leads to the end of suffering.
I thought you were gonna say the end of the world.
No.
Jesus.
I don't think anything in Buddhism talks about the end of the world. It might. I don't know. Probably not. Maybe.
It's probably something.
Oh, I don't want to talk about the end of the world.
I don't know. What?
Oh, you know what? Well, that's what Mike's Mysteries is about.
Wait, what? All right.
Not really.
You
but
continue.
A little bit. In summary, it's about being moral and focusing the mind on being fully aware of our thoughts and actions, and by developing wisdom, by actually using the Four Noble Truths.
And increasing your score. I mean, what?
I feel like the Fourth Noble Truth is kind of lazy if it just tells you to follow the Eightfold Path. Like I feel like I'm missing something here.
Like step 5, obey this.
Step 5, obey. Step 6.
Obey everything here.
We're allowed to critique. We're allowed to critique our own philosophy that we're talking about, right?
Who's
The Buddha's gonna come and like, oh, excuse me.
Well, there is there's this show that there was a show basically where they thought out like these historical figures, and they put them in a high school. Like I think you might recall it in some fashion.
You mean with Jesus and the Buddha, that like Japanese one?
No. It was like Abraham Lincoln. It was like a nerd, and the Buddha was like this cool guy. No,
So
not the Buddha.
though, because Abraham Lincoln was like a great wrestler. He'd be a jock. He wouldn't be a nerd.
I don't know, but
Plus, he was like 6'3".
and Cleopatra's like this, like like really really popular girl, and freaking
Oh yeah, the queen bee.
yeah, and but no, it wasn't Buddha. It was Mahatma. Like Gandhi was he was like this really really chill like guy that everybody can hang out with.
Was the Buddha not in this?
No, it wasn't the Buddha. But no, but my point is that like wait, Gandhi was a Buddhist, right?
No, he was Hindu, wasn't he? Hinduism. He did live in India. Well, that's the thing, though. Buddhism, even though Buddhism is heavily followed in Asiatic countries, it is indeed started in India.
I'm pretty
He
sure
could be either one.
I'm pretty sure they bounced off of each other.
They did.
Yeah, but my point is that like now when you were talking about like we're allowed to criticize Buddhism, like I know that show got like in a lot of trouble because with the Buddhist community or like with the people who venerated Gandhi because like they were like depicting him in like a weird way. So what they did was that they like did like hunger strikes outside the headquarters of the show.
Oh my god, that would be bad. Don't do that.
Welcome to Tales from Bottom Ocean. As you can see outside, there is a crowd of Buddhists.
In summary.
They're peacefully protesting.
Anyway, did I talk about the 5 precepts?
No.
It's the moral code that Buddhists follow.
Gone.
And it's not to take the life of anything living, which is good. Don't do that. Unless you got to eat, in my opinion.
Pigberry.
Not to take anything not freely given. To abstain from sexual misconduct and sensual overindulgence. To refrain from untrue speech and to avoid getting drunk and losing mindfulness.
There's like, how should I put this? Jesus, these like philosophies we're doing are pretty like are somewhat kind of redundant, aren't they? Well, because like because no, listen to this way, because they're saying the same exact thing over and over again, aren't they?
Wow, you just discovered what philosophy is.
No, but like it really does seem like
Yeah,
yeah,
kind of. It's just a lot of things like it's not really that in the negative way. It's just that a lot of people wanted to convey the same thing and did it differently.
Yeah,
is what I would say in a nice way to put it. It's
kind of redundant, no? but no, I think that's pretty cool because like again, like you gotta imagine like a bunch of people literally not, for one thing, not having penicillin, and also just like coming up with like the same thing, like just not over and over.
The only thing that's messing with me here is sensual overindulgence. Like, what does that mean?
Okay, so like.
Does it mean something that we shouldn't talk about on the air? If say yes, we'll just move on.
Hold on, let me spin it. Basically just
like I like the sensation of like when you're a little kid and like you're in a pool and you like kick off the back and you go really far. Is that like a sensual overindulgence? I like the feeling of the water going like I pretend I'm like a torpedo. Is that a sin? Well, I could have, like, I don't know. There's a lot of things.
Just don't do that too many times and you'll be fine with the Buddha. No, but like, okay, no. Okay, so I really, really like chocolate. Love. I really, really love chocolate.
I love chocolate.
Shut up.
Family Guy references.
Now you're making me think of that. But no. But no, I really love chocolate. And there was this one time, like, during Christmas time where I literally had this, like, little glass jar that I'll take the top off, take one, then I'll eat it, and then I'll just put it back on, just take it off again. Like I kept doing it because I was like, this is my last one.
Yeah, I do that too.
But no, like you should probably have one if you can, if you can.
You
help
should still
it.
Enjoy things.
Yeah, no,
like,
you
that's
can,
what he meant by like not suffering on purpose.
No, you can still
just don't eat the whole friggin' jar.
Yeah, but like don't be gluttonous. Obviously, just don't be a freaking bastard.
Kind of funny coming from a fat guy himself. But I heard that's because he ate like a little bit of rice grains and then drank hot water so it expand the stomach. Oh, something to that effect.
Oh, is
like
that
he wasn't actually like hugely fat. He was just like bloated.
Oh, is that like all the stats? Like, wait, that's the statue of the Buddha, right? The one with the low earlobes and the big belly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, by the way,
thick.
Yeah. Did you hear this is an interesting thing, right? They found out that like a lot of the golden statues like had corpses inside them. Like the Buddhist golden statues, like of like saints or whatever or something like that, had the corpses, I think, of the saints inside them.
Jeez, Austin's mysteries right now.
Go on.
That is
interesting, right?
Probably gross.
Well, yeah.
I think I did hear about that though. It's like opening up an Easter bunny, but like it's like a real bunny. It's just oh god.
Wait, what? Go on.
I also taught about karma, which you know what karma is.
Everybody knows what karma is. Correct.
Bad karma. Do bad things, get bad. Do good things, get good.
I'm pretty sure it's more like, a little bit more complicated than that. Or is it literally just that?
Well, I guess basically, yeah.
Is that it, really?
It's like a thing with like it's more talking about why it's there because like you don't want things to be like inequity in the world. You don't want like imagine if like bad things you didn't get away with anything.
Yeah.
Like no, you got away with everything, and good things no one cared. It needs to be there, or else, like, why even bother?
We can invoke existentialism here for a second if we can.
Nah.
Remember that whole wait why?
Eh.
Hold on. Remember Bad Faith? Like
Yeah,
the whole thing with the poser and everything like that.
Yeah.
Like I feel that a lot, like with the whole thing with karma, because like those people who are just like, oh, but karma, like you gotta believe, like I believe in karma. I believe like you'll get your retribution or whatever and shit like that. And it's just like they just act like silly and stupid regardless,
Yeah.
Like I mean, like people who say they really believe in karma, like just really do not, like actually, in my opinion, like they're using it as like some sort of like way to seem like all enlightened and important, but it's just like no, you don't really know what you're talking about.
And yep, that's I'd say so.
Yeah.
Anyway, Buddhism also teaches about wisdom. Before you make another friggin' D&D reference, I'll just give you the in before. Buddhism teaches that wisdom should be developed with compassion, and that at one extreme you could be a good-hearted fool, and at the other extreme you could attain knowledge without any emotion. And it uses the middle path to do both. Basically, it's kind of like a precursor to Taoism in a way. The highest wisdom is seeing that in reality all phenomena are incomplete, impermanent, and do not constitute a fixed entity.
Wait, that's really important. What? Like, say that again.
The highest wisdom is basically seeing that in reality, everything that happens is incomplete, and it does not constitute what is going to always happen.
Let's deconstruct that. Okay, what's the first thing? Everything in reality is what?
Everything's incomplete, basically.
Okay, so what does that mean?
That nothing... The way I'm reading it, it means that, like... I think it means that even if something had started and finished before, if it were to start up again, it won't necessarily have the same end.
You think so?
Well, yeah.
Like everything is unique, basically.
Yeah, I'd say that's what it's trying to go for.
Interesting. I think it's like trying to say like, oh, like everything is like everything's not just cut and dry.
Yeah,
Like there's a gray area.
There is a gray area, and that like a big thing about wisdom is that it's not something that's like told to you; it's something you actually do yourself.
What was the rest of it? Like, okay, everything's incomplete. What else?
Oh, it's not going to stick around forever. Like nothing's forever, basically.
Oh, that's basically what. Wait, so everything's incomplete, but also
and
not...
it doesn't like basically constitute that's going to happen again.
Oh, okay. So
nothing is fixed, nothing is completed, nothing is permanent, and nothing will repeat itself perfectly.
What use do you think that like knowledge has in wisdom?
I think it's what it's like. I think it's leading to the next point that things have to be experienced, not told.
Oh.
I think it's trying to tell you that even if something went one way for one person, if you try it, it might go differently.
Oh, it's basically just saying...
It could be something as simple as like trying to plug in a USB port, and like one person's like, "Oh, it doesn't fit either way I put it," and then somehow the next person does it. It works the first try for no reason.
That's a good analogy, but like, that's it's basically just saying like don't just like read the title of the article. Just actually read the article, basically.
Yeah, and then you'll interpret it a different way.
Probably, yeah. All right, fair enough. I like that. And
that is actually all the content I had
for Buddhism.
Yep, it's done.
Huh?
No, I'm kidding. We still got quotes.
Cool.
For Mickey to think. We could also talk about. It's ironic. The first question of the day was, "What does it mean to be enlightened?" And now we're just getting to that. Basically,
we're finally enlightened, Mike.
But when I do quotes, I do some quotes from the actual source and some quotes from elsewhere.
Go on.
So
wait, what are you trying to say?
Like there are quotes relating to it, but they're not from like the Buddha.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
And so here's the first one. It is better to conquer yourself than to win 1,000 battles. Then the victory is yours. It cannot be taken from you.
Oh, well, yeah. It's like, yeah, okay. It's like in the Art of War, kind of. It's by Sun Tzu. It's like first you must know yourself, then before you can really. First you must defeat yourself before you can defeat your enemy, sort of thing.
Yeah, and it also goes on to say that that's the one victory that can never be taken from you.
Yeah.
Like no one could take away your personal achievements.
Yeah.
Ever.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a nice.
That's why you should like really value the efforts that you put on this world, in my opinion.
Yeah, like your hobbies actually mean something and all that stuff.
Yeah, even if they are like even if they are somewhat mundane, like maybe you just go to the beach and like count seashells or whatever. Like I mean, it's still like you gotta appreciate what you're capable of, you know.
Yeah.
Even if you are capable of like next to nothing. Like I mean, there was okay. So,
what do you mean you're capable of next to nothing?
No, okay. So let me tell you a story, a little story. Basically there was this guy who apparently was diagnosed with like this really, really terminal type of cancer, and like he was basically told like, okay, yeah, you're just gonna keel over.
Is this Breaking Bad?
No.
It sounds a lot like Breaking Bad.
I literally just said cancer, and then yeah, that's it. There was this guy who got diagnosed with cancer. Bro, that's Breaking Bad. I like that shit. No. No, okay, so then he says that, you know, he's a chemist. I'm kidding. No. No, he's basically told like you're gonna be basically like bedridden. And then what he basically does to keep himself going is that he does a little bit like he does basically the most he can do for that day, like every single day. So he starts out by like, you know, walking a lot and running and stuff like that, and then his legs give out obviously, and then he can't walk anymore. So then he just like uses his arms as much as he can, and then they give out, and then he just uses his head, and then he can like barely wiggle his toe by the end of it. So he just focuses on wiggling his toe.
So he focused on what he could do until he lost it, and then went to the next thing.
Yeah, but like the point is that he did that, and a lot of people are saying like, oh, his will to live didn't give out, because in the end he lived a lot longer than they expected him to.
It's like Teddy Roosevelt, my favorite U.S. president. At least.
But
he was like bedridden when he was a kid, and he's like, forget this, I'm gonna go be Teddy Roosevelt, and then he hunted crazy animals. Did all that cool stuff.
Yeah, but like no, it's like listen, you're
boxed,
just to rip something from like Jordan Peterson, like you're a lot stronger than you know.
Yeah,
and you're a lot more capable than you think you are. It's just that thing's like really scary, and your body's trying to protect you like all the time.
Yeah, it's the thing. People hear something like, "Oh, this is gonna happen to you," and they like get scared. They don't they worry too much before it happens, I'd say.
Yeah.
Although in that position, I can't really talk because that is a terrifying position.
Life is just terrifying. It's just endlessly terrifying.
Although I think in that position, I try to like, you're gonna be bedridden. I just be like, nah, no, I'm not. And then I would just like do my best.
Like like nowadays, it feels that people are like trying to like mitigate the emotion of terror like as much as possible.
I think a good not analogy, but like how that kind of reflects on something that happened to me once.
Yeah, is
that my grandfather ended up with cancer, and like this is kind of a bleak story, but it's still kind of funny.
I mean, what is the show for anyway?
Bleakness
and funniness.
Yeah. So towards like his last day, it's like a week before his final day, I get a call. I'm like, you gotta come help us pick Grandpa up. He got out of bed, and like I come in and it's like, he's in his favorite chair, and like that's why he got out of bed. He didn't want to be in the bed. He wanted to be in the chair, and like he can't even talk anymore. And it's like, are you gonna do that again? He's like he was like confident, like he's going to do it again before he dies, because he was like, no, I want to be in my chair.
That's amazing.
Like I think stubbornness is a good thing to have towards the end.
He's like,
it's like I'm gonna do it again.
That's so great.
Like he said so many words without even speaking. And he's like, yeah, he's going to try to do this again. It was so funny.
Wow.
Another RIP. Anyway.
F.
All right, next quote. You only lose what you cling to. Which I can relate to that.
I mean, that's pretty straightforward.
No, I wouldn't say so, because like the things you try hardest to grasp, you eventually either drive away or you just break it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel sometimes with like just life.
Yeah.
Like I feel like life clings to me. It's like you gotta go get a job. I'm like, no, I want to make street art in Central Park or something like that. God, if I was good enough, I would be, but I'm not. It'd be literal finger paints. Like $75, I'll do finger paints. That's about as artistically inclined as I really am.
Please, I'll do a finger paint.
I mean, if you want to make a little like side project, it'd just be me trying to sell finger paintings in Central Park. That'd be
Dude,
kinda
if
fun.
if we get fans, then like I would love to just like draw things for our fans.
Well, no, because then it'll be ruined. Because then they'll be like, oh, look, it's the guys from Tales from the Bottom of the Ocean. They're doing finger paints. No one will. You lose a genuine like, look at that weirdo doing finger paints for $75.
Yeah, you're right.
That maybe like I think at best someone would buy one just for the
Irony factor.
Yeah, or rob me. Like, I don't know.
All right, what's the next quote?
All right, what you think you become, what you feel you attract, what you imagine you create.
This okay. So this reminds me of a coworker. His name is Santaram Kala. He's an Indian fella, but his name is just his name like shortened on his name to him is Ram.
Okay,
And so like
like ROM or RHAM or
RAM.
Ram.
Yeah, it's kind of a badass name if you think about it.
Yeah, that's kind of cool, especially if he's an Aries.
But no, okay. So like basically, one thing he tells me is that you have like the way he like shortens it. He's okay. So you have to align yourself with good programs, so you can because like if you have good like he's basically like, comparing yourself to a computer. Like if there's good code, then you're gonna have a well functioning sort of what. Okay, I know what you're thinking.
No,
I know what you're thinking. But no, like he's saying, like if you have good programs in your mind, like if you're associating yourself with good people, then good things will reflect in your life, basically. And I think that's what that's saying. Kinda, is it? You think so?
To an extent, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
so.
I pick pretty easy quotes.
I mean, no. I mean, we got a lot of them.
Well, the thing is, like, a lot of the more Eastern philosophies, I feel, are kind of more straightforward than the Western.
Yeah.
Because, like, you got existentialism. It's like, well, okay, like
I still think existentialism is pretty straightforward. You don't. So we must kill each other. I'm kidding.
Yeah, probably. We're the greater good.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, these are quotes not from Buddha, but I'm sure you know who they are. Well, maybe not the second one, because I don't think you like country or rock or anything. I don't know what you like. Wait, no, you like Ween, so you definitely know who that is then.
Yeah, anybody who's
a Ween fan.
Yeah, out there. Something that Ween.
Hashtag Ween.
Exactly.
On my Instagram post. A person starts to live when he can live outside himself, and that's by Albert Einstein.
A person can start to live when he lives outside of himself. Oh yeah, just be worldly.
Yeah, be worldly. Don't like.
Be mindful.
You're not the only person on this friggin' planet.
Yeah,
some people actually think that, like that that whole NPC meme going around.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
Because people are misconstruing what this study was about. It said that 30% of people can't speak to themselves internally, is what I think it actually said. But people screwed it up and thought only 30% can. Meaning that 70% of people actually are like...
There's no internal monologue.
There's no internal monologues. That's what it is, internal monologues. People misconstrued that, and so people started getting like existential about it. They're like, am I an NPC?
Well, actually, I think it worked out for the best then, because like it got people thinking like... Because you know how like when you have like the low probability like studies, you're just like, oh, that can't be me.
Yeah,
but now people actually.
But then it makes people point fingers at other people and call them such a thing because like they're saying like what's the most popular. Like, oh, I like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm like, oh, you must literally have no inner monologue. It just created another insult because you like something popular. Suddenly, you're literally not a person. It's how people manage to take this study and screw it.
I mean, it's still a funny meme though, dude.
It's pretty funny.
So funny because it's just
we'll
like
get to memeology in another episode.
Because we're gonna have to have someone over for that because we're not meme wizards enough.
But I'm not insulting the MCU. I actually do like half the movies, not all of them.
Just go from one for whatever.
Some are boring.
Anyway,
some are not.
Next quote.
All right, this is the last quote because I only did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quotes counting.
I mean, I think I did 5 last time.
No, you did more, but like you just didn't want to do half of them for some reason.
I overproduce content.
There is nothing so stable as change by Bob Dylan. You know who Bob Dylan is, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you know.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Knocking on Heaven's Door. Well, that's the thing. I always screw this up because like I think he originally wrote the song, but then Guns N' Roses, some other band did it, and that's the more popular version.
I have no idea, but anyway,
good song.
Change, and there's nothing as stable as change. That's actually like that really does fall into absurdism, in my opinion. Like, if I were to invoke
That's not the topic.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, look, listen, we have to stem these things together because
Yeah, you're right.
yeah, it can't just be like a skit show where every single day we're like freaking doing something stupid and new.
We're not doing something stupid and new every single day. We're doing it every single Wednesday.
Oh yeah, but no, you know what I mean. Whatever. We already called the question of the question of the day, so we have to assume that we're freezing ourselves back in freaking kryptonite until. Kryptonite, carbonite,
kryptonite
until they thaw us out just to do the show again. We're gonna have to write off
Superman's
that.
the last person in the universe. We can't even get brought back.
Yeah, freaking our director's like broadcasting us to anybody who's out there to save us in a rocket ship, in a spaceship, in a submarine or whatever.
Submarine or whatever. If the Earth's destroyed, the submarine's not gonna be there.
It's gonna save us, dude.
The ocean won't be there. I mean, I guess it's a spaceship now.
No, global warming is gonna swallow the Earth with water and shit. So we're gonna have to survive.
No, I'm talking about like when the world's not even there anymore.
Where did it go?
When the sun becomes a red giant and consumes us.
It doesn't. It's not going to. It's actually not going to go that far. No, it's proven it's not going to go that far. I mean, it doesn't matter because we're going to be screwing it because there's no water for our submarine, so it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right. So whatever.
It's going to consume.
We also forgetting the one big thing that Superman's not real and neither is kryptonite.
No, carbonite. I meant like what they did with Han Solo.
I also Han Solo.
And Solo Cup.
I don't think that would work.
Bottom line is we don't actually go home or just get frozen and just do this show. We get thought to do the show.
Yeah, there's nothing so stable as change. What do you think that means?
Yeah. So absurdism was
by Bob Dylan.
Yeah. So absurdism asserts that like, you know, like I actually really thought about this when I was like freaking I don't know 17. What? 17. Yeah, I thought about this really hard when I was 17, and it seemed it was making like I was like having one of those like weird moments where it was like everything's falling into place. It's like I began realizing that like, you know, the universe is like actually pretty wacky in the sense that like everything is one thing but while also being the thing that it's the opposite of. And so like I mean there is a type of order to chaos, isn't there, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like there is I
think that's just like it's never going away. That's what I think the quote's saying. Like there's nothing so stable as change. Like the only thing that never changes is that things change, basically.
Well, I think it's also saying that you should be somewhat comfortable in that fact, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, the things that you have are gonna go away or they're gonna come to you or whatever. You just like you have to go with the flow, you know?
Yep.
Be like water.
I believe you wanted to do the question of the day.
Yeah. Question of the day.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give you the paper. You have to remember it.
I don't.
Here you go.
Thank you, sir. Question of the day for all you folks out there. We're gonna give you 30 minutes to figure it out. No, we're not.
No, we don't even have like 3.
I don't think we do actually. Here we go. Question of the day, featuring Austin and Mike from Tales from the Bottom of the Ocean. Wednesdays and 6. New favorite philosophy podcast. Question of the day. Is it a good idea to reduce suffering as much as possible?
Yes. Yeah, well, no. Just remembering what we went over about Buddhism, you don't want to live too luxurious either. Yeah. So you don't want to reduce suffering so much that you literally are so... See, I feel like you can't even do that anymore.
So fucking lazy. He's just like, yes! Yes!
I feel... This is the thing. My critique about Buddhism. Like, you can't... Even if you're, like, so rich and powerful, like... You're still going to worry about something. There's no way you don't suffer at all. No, like, how?
Well, I don't know.
Like, how could you reduce suffering so much, like, you do... Other than, like, literally not being alive, how do you reduce your suffering?
What if there was a way that you... What if there was, like, an extremely expensive procedure that it has to exist in some way.
Where you can... Well, keep going.
Well, you can lobotomize, like, yourself to where, like, you're...
Oh, good. So the only way for me to not suffer is if I literally take my brain and throw it in a blender.
Well, okay, but I'm saying, like, what if you really want to just reduce your suffering as much as possible? You can do that. You can just snip the neural pathways that cause you to be anxious. I'm pretty sure there's a way you can do that.
But then you'd be like a robot.
Not really, because the rest of them are still intact. You just
Because
feel
if you're,
anxiety.
this is the thing. If there's nothing at stake, why would you care about anything? You would literally just sit there and die in one day.
No, I actually think you would be I think that's actually like one of the calling cards of psychopathy, like not feeling anxiety, really.
Nothing would have any consequence to you because you don't care.
Yeah.
Because you can't care.
You
I think that's
can't.
literally what being a sociopath is.
Well, yeah, like basically like I actually thought about it a little bit, but I listened to like other podcasts about it.
You whore, you cheater.
Don't worry, don't worry about it. But it was
Sorry,
basically
we were just listening to one before this.
yeah, but it was basically saying how like you have to peak like you have to be being extremely agreeable, extremely intelligent, but like and low in
Fiber.
compassion. Low in compassion is like the calling cards, like somebody who has like psychopathy.
Makes sense.
Like, but that's really interesting, you know.
I think what makes it even worse though is like you once related to the thing, so you could still relate. Well, no, you can no longer relate. You could still relate, but you just don't care. Like that sounds like the calling card of making a supervillain.
Yeah, no internal monologue is the calling card. Of
Anyway, but
evil.
like in my opinion, I feel like if you were, I guess you're right. I guess it really is not a good idea.
I mean, okay, so there's an interesting there's a book by Jonathan Haidt.
Just because it would give you nothing to live for, I'd say. It'd give you nothing to live for.
Yeah,
Nothing's at stake, so screw
But
it.
there's a book by Jonathan Haidt that I didn't read, obviously.
Oh, good.
But like I heard about it, and like I've heard him talk about like this topic called the coddling of the American mind, and he basically just goes into how like we have this culture. Well, he basically goes into like the importance of like unmonitored play with children, or rather, I think he references studies about that. But he basically says how like we've completely
Like adult on kid kickball or something?
no. He's saying like unmonitored children play, as in like children playing with each other, but like adults don't like break it up as soon as some kid like falls down and starts crying a bit.
Oh.
Like he basically like he explains how like in the result of that is that our anxiety in children, depression in children increases like wildly because of that, and
Because we do look at them or we don't?
because we basically coddle them too much.
Oh, yeah. I feel like dude, when I was in did I tell this story already? By the time I was in third grade at camp and like adults really weren't around and even the counselors were basically just grown-up kids. Like they weren't like adults. They were like 13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
And like someone's like, dude, you know you could curse, right? I was like,
Oh yeah, you
whoa.
told me about that.
It's that feeling.
Yeah.
You feel like a little adult in a sense.
Well, it was basically explaining how like you got to let these children like figure these things out for themselves somewhat, because there's actually like several threshold points in child development where like if they don't have this down somewhat reasonably, then they're not going to have it ever.
Yeah.
And then they're just going to kind of be miserable for the rest of their lives as they like lack the social skills to like properly interact with people. And like he was just explaining how like we're raising a generation.
I feel like that was me because I went to Catholic school instead of like the public school, so I didn't know like the kids around me. So then when I was like in that same camp, I was like didn't know anyone, and like they didn't know me, which is like the worst part. They didn't know me, so they were like, "Who the fuck are you?" And then they would like bully me sometimes because like I just wasn't around.
Yeah.
Like leave me alone. That's a feeling though. Like I feel like I wouldn't homeschool my kids for that reason.
Yeah.
Because kids are cruel.
Well, it's an interesting idea. We're gonna have to talk about it another time. But like the whole thing about kids and morality,
Philosophy
I
of
guess.
children, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, so we got enough time to do a rousing Mike's Mysteries.
I'm so excited, as always.
Yeah, you really should be, because this is gonna get. Oh, God.
I'm gonna sit back in my chair.
How I managed to get 50 minutes of content is like, it amazes me how time goes by so fast.
I mean, I helped. Jeez.
Yeah, you helped.
All right, I'm gonna sit back and let you do your thing.
All right, so you know who Nostradamus is?
Yes.
Oh, Mike's Mysteries is over.
Okay, I don't actually really.
Oh, he's well, he was like a French guy. Mike's Mysteries. He was a French.
Did he put something in your soup? No.
That joke is funny.
Nobody understands that. Go on.
He was a Frenchman in the 1500s, I believe, who wrote a book about like 1,000 prophecies, and he gets a lot of clout because a lot of them didn't actually happen, or like you can't really think of them, but some of them are like scaringly accurate. Mind you, this is like in the 1500s, so I think of the ones that I remember personally, because I didn't write any of this down because I thought that'd be smart and funny, is that he directly prophesized the death of, I think, King Henry II it was, because the prophecy basically said like he would die with 2 wounds at once, and he threw a golden visor, and what happened was he was in a joust and the land split between the razors the visors the port, and he got stabbed twice in the head, so he died that way. That's one thing.
That's a pretty badass way to die, by the way. But anyway,
it is. The London Fire of 1666 is like the one that's definitely like he definitely did it, because he literally said in the fire, like a fire will happen in like 1666, or like the London Fire of 66. I mean, it could have been 1566. Well, no, I think he was around then. But yeah, like it happened in 1666. The Great London Fire happened, and he basically prophesized it. Another one he did was Napoleon saying that like a man would basically take Europe over. But if that one's not as cool as the one he had on Hitler, because he almost got his name right. Because he said like a man Western Europe, a man from the Western Europe, poor, like he had a poor family, and like he'll use like his tongue to friggin' like make an army, which is what Hitler did. And then like it refers to Hitler as Hissler, literally a letter off. So that's another one people really get like crazy on.
Did he prophesize anything else?
9/11 apparently. He said that in the new city a fire will erupt and like cave the city in blood, or cave the river in blood.
Cave the river?
Like coat the river in blood, rather.
So he's
like,
talking about like the
he was talking about like in the
river
in capitalized. He capitalized new city. Obviously, New York City wasn't around at that time, but that's the closest thing we have to new city. And the fire did erupt, so people contributed to that. And JFK's assassination, he said that JFK and Bobby Kennedy's, like how they were killed, he prophesied that like the great man will be struck by a lightning bolt, and then something akin to like his brother soon after, which is what actually happened.
That's so general. Come on, that's such bullshit.
No, but like there was one, I can't find it, but like there also said that the man, like it basically said the man who did it will never see trial, like how the guy who actually did it in JFK didn't see trial.
Oh, they just arrested him, right? And then that was it.
No, like they don't know who did it, right? Like they don't know who. Actually,
right? What do you mean, right?
No, like they don't know who. They don't know who like really did it.
Oh, like this is conspiracy about it, but they arrested somebody.
Yeah,
but
they arrested somebody, but like it also says that too, though. It says like they arrested the wrong person in the prophecy.
Really?
Yeah.
Nuts.
Those are some of the ones that are like creepily accurate. It also like did the atomic bombs, like 2 cities will like erupt in flames, like
more erupting in flames.
Yeah, from like the steel darts. Is basically what he called them.
The steel darts, incredible.
And then what's a little scarier is like the prophecies that didn't come true. Because the thing with him, he made it like said in the book as a disclaimer, he's not good at math. But like Macedonia and Prussia or Persia, I think, were supposed to go to war in 1990 something, like 94. Only problem is Macedonia is a very general term, and Persia's like not a thing.
Yeah, Persia doesn't exist.
So the closest thing that could really happen to what he was talking about would be Iran and Greece. And as of now, they have a perfectly fine
relationship.
Yeah, so no, that's not going to happen. He did predict the first 2 world wars by coming up with the idea that World War III is supposed to happen at the turn of the millennium, which didn't happen.
Yeah.
Not really, at least. And something that's really eerie is that he said the year before the millennium's turn, at the 7th month, the Antichrist will be born, and he will like plunge the world in darkness. I mean, that person still could technically be born, but like so far, I don't see any devils erupting from portals or anything.
Yeah, if he does, then we can always call on a particular hero.
Yeah,
a special hero from
another one was that zombies were supposed to come up, like like hell would be filled and the undead would rise.
Oh, so he's the one who came up with the phrase like when the hell freezes over, the dead will walk the earth, something like that.
I think so. Only thing is, that's not going to happen until like 7,000. Like a lot of the thing is like, and then he's a lot like, you know how like recently, like I'd say throughout our childhood is a probably good estimate of when this is all going on.
Yeah.
People would constantly be like, the world's going to end this day. No, this day. No, 2012. No, this day. You know that?
We'll get it right this time, guys. Come on.
A lot of the time, like it's actually like because of Nostradamus' predictions. And whenever the day comes, whenever the day comes and the world doesn't end, it's like, oh, no, actually it's going to be this day. Actually,
Yeah.
In 2017, and then 2017 came, it's like, oh, look, it's 2018.
Yeah, I mean, it's just.
I mean, to
ridiculous.
be fair, it feels like everything since 2012. It feels like nothing's real. To be honest.
Well, that's like a really far cry from what we were just talking about.
No, I feel like in 2012 something may have happened, and this is like the afterlife. Because I feel like things.
Whoa, wait. Well, save some red pills for the rest of us.
Let's not get
Jesus
that tinfoil
Christ.
hat. But I mean, like, ever since that happened.
Too late for that.
Ever since 2012, it feels like things have not been real. Like how things.
Well,
have
that's
been
because
coming
they
out.
hyped up the end of the world, dude, and now it didn't happen. So everybody's like, oh. That's literally it. That's literally
Now
it.
they're saying the world's going to end in 3,797.
Okay, well, good.
Which is what are we going to care?
Good.
We'll be dead. Probably.
I mean, the Earth is definitely going to reach carrying capacity from now until then. So
Well, we could probably just shift people off to the moon and Mars by then. Elon
to
Musk.
die, to do nothing.
Well, no. Like, if we colonize...
Dude,
our-
imagine a
That's how they can consider, like, Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3 civilizations. Like, we're Type 0, actually.
yeah.
Type 1 would be one that, like, could get energy from their star. But then another way of looking at it is Type 1 could
We already
be...
do that. We already did that.
What?
Solar energy. We already do that.
No, like, to power, like, the entirety of the world.
We can do that.
We can, but we don't, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, fair enough.
But then another person who looks at it is that it depends on how you leave the planet. Type 1 would be if you colonize all of your planet, and I think your moon. And then Type 2 would be the minute you... Type 2 would be the minute you colonize your entire solar system. So, like, if we colonize, like, Mercury, Venus, Mars...
Yeah.
Well, Venus would be really hard. Like, terraforming, basically.
Cool.
Jupiter, you'd be screwed because, you know, it's a cloud. But,
Cloud City, dude. Lando Calrissian. You'll see me when we do that. My great whatever. He's gonna be Lando Calrissian. Your great whatever is gonna be Han Solo. He's gonna be looking for his money.
yeah, the only problem with that is the only problem with that is that's a galaxy long ago,
All right, fair
not
enough.
in the future.
All right, so everybody, I really have to use the bathroom. So, Tales from the Bottom of the Ocean. Biodynamic headphones. DT240s.
Buddhism.
Buy them. Buy Buddhism too.
You can't buy that. You could reach nirvana in your own home.
Reach nirvana in your own home. Buy. You have to buy a house first. Yeah. Reach- Be good at real estate. Be good. We love you. Anything else, Mike?
I'm Mike Kempf.
I'm Austin Andrews. We're going.